Hello everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. As you can see, I've had pumpkins on the brain recently, and I thought this was a great idea with Halloween just around the corner and Thanksgiving coming up for the American folks just after that, to show you guys how to spruce up your pumpkin patch a little bit. Now, of course, the ideal place for a practical pumpkin patch is going to be somewhere near your base, but if you're looking for a new biome to settle down in and you want to build around your pumpkin patch, I recommend a swamp, because I think the orange and the swamp grass colour look fantastic together. You can grow a lot of fun foliage in swamps. The stuff like podzol and soul sand will mix in quite nicely, and your neighbourhood witch will love it. So to start off with, you'll want to pick a spot with a nice flat area that you can grow your pumpkins on, although a tiered pumpkin farm is not going to be too bad either. Start out by clearing it off and replace a few of the blocks here and there. Try not to get too checkerboardy, but use a bit of podzol if you have it. Coarse dirt works pretty well if you don't, but I think a mixture of the two sits quite nicely together. You'll also find that in swamps you get a lot of these blue orchids growing around. I think they look pretty nice next to pumpkins because, as anybody who plays Portal knows, orange and blue actually complement each other quite well. They are opposing colours on the colour wheel, if you want to get technical about these things, so they actually look quite nice together. They kind of contrast pretty well. So once you've got this set up, I'd recommend putting a bucket of water down somewhere just so you can keep your farmland hydrated whilst you hoe out a couple of spots nearby. You're in a swamp, so lily pads will be plentiful. You can cover that up with a lily pad if you don't want it to be right next to the pumpkins and like to be able to walk into it. And you can pop down some grass. If you've trimmed some grass, you can put dead bushes down on coarse dirt and podzol. If you put them down on regular dirt, it will work fine until the grass covers that over, and then the dead bush will disappear. You can't place them on grass at all, but they can grow pretty well on podzol and coarse dirt, so I recommend throwing some down on a couple of those just to add a little bit of creepy atmosphere to your swamp pumpkin patch. There you go, that one disappeared right away. Now, in the hoed spaces, you'll probably want to distribute your pumpkin seeds around these, but you could always leave a couple of these blank just for a bit of texture. Just, of course, be aware that it will probably end up getting trampled or something like that when you're walking around the pumpkin patch. Now, the fun thing about pumpkin seeds is that even if the stalks aren't grown, if you place a pumpkin nearby, it will attach to the pumpkin, and I think that actually looks quite nice with the completely green stalk like that. I think that's quite a nice vivid colour for a pumpkin patch to have. If you attach it to the pumpkin's face, it looks a little bit like a funny nose as well, which is pretty funny, but ultimately these are going to grow up, and when they do, they will change colour to the standard kind of browny kind of orange colour that you see over here. So yeah, it's kind of an orangey green colour. So that will happen sooner or later anyway, but for now you can enjoy your nice green stalks, pop a few of those around, and then add some ferns, because from what I've heard, a couple of my detail-oriented friends have mentioned this to me, ferns actually grow quite abundantly around pumpkin patches, and if you've got a tiered pumpkin patch like this, you might also want to throw a few ferns around the side and then bone meal them so they grow a little bit larger. Now we come to a fantastic piece of detail that I found through Reddit, and that's these little pumpkins here with the leaves growing out of the side. This was submitted to Reddit by a user called That Long Name Guy. I will link their original Imager album in the description where they showed pictures of them doing this themselves, but basically it involves putting 2 armor stands down and adding these leather tunics to them that are dyed green. So you'll need a pumpkin, some kind of block to go underneath the pumpkin, a stone slab in this case, which I'm going to put down here because when they submitted it to Reddit, I thought that the leaves stuck out a little bit too high, so I decided to make mine a little bit lower by putting in a stone slab. I think they used snow layers to push it up through the ground, but in this case you're going to want to drop 1 armor stand in there, put one of the leather tunics on and add the pumpkin, and then you'll need to really quickly, or you can build a platform out the top here, add the second armor stand kind of at a cross angle like that, and then drop that in. I've put mine next to the water source block so it gets pushed away at a slightly different angle, so it's kind of offset from the block, makes it look a little bit more natural in my opinion. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is push it down onto the top of the pumpkin like this. You'll need to put a piston above there as usual to do that, and just find something to activate it with. I'm using a block of redstone just because it's a little bit easier. And then the last thing you can do to this is add in some foliage, because you'll still be able to access this block here despite the fact there are 2 armor stands in there. So you can add some leaves or grass or something around there to make it look a little bit more natural. I think ferns kind of look good as well sometimes, although they tend to grow out of the pumpkins at weird angles, but I think that actually adds a fantastic bit of detail to your pumpkin patch. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. My name has been Pixlriffs. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, have yourselves a happy Halloween, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now. It's actually the Democratic Republic of Mushroom. Oh my gosh. Oh my god, what's happened over here?